Welcome back. Loudoun County schools are now suspending students who enter school buildings without a mask. It is just one of several Virginia districts still enforcing these mask mandates. Meanwhile, the move defies Governor Glenn Youngkin's executive action, which allows parents the choice of whether or not they mask their kids. Joining us now to discuss is the founder of Parents Against Theory, Scott Mineo, and his daughter, Angelina. Thank you so much to you both for coming on today, and it's relevant and timely because Angelina, I know you did not want to wear a mask, and you did so, and then you were suspended. And we've got the letter from the school district. I'll just share with our viewers so they can kind of stay up to date with it. Some of this is redacted here, but it says the letter is to inform you that I'm suspending Angelina from school for 10 days for violation of School Board Policy 8210, willful or continued disobedience of school rules and regulations or personnel, defiance of the authority of any teacher, principal, or other person having authority in the school. Specifically, Angelina was willfully continued to refuse to follow COVID mitigation measures as required by Loudoun County public officials. I guess they've got this document ready to fill in the blank for students who don't comply with their mandate. Scott, tell me about how this all happened.
Well, quite honestly, this happened when the announcement of Governor Youngkin's EO number 2 came out. A lot of parents collected and talked about and thought, okay, great, now there's going to be individuals that have choice. Those that care to wear a mask and those that don't. However, we ran into a problem last week when the schools, the week before rather, when the superintendent, Scott Ziegler, decided it would be a good idea to usurp the governor's executive order and punish kids and teachers that don't wear a mask. And that's what happened. My wife was punished last week, facing retaliation this week, and my daughter was isolated all last week because she wasn't wearing a mask.
Angelina, tell me about that. You walk into school without a face mask like normal, and then what happened?
I was put in the principal's office, and then last week I was just put in an isolation room after they tried to get me to wear a mask, and I refused. And I was sitting there all day with a few of my classmates, and then yesterday when I walked in, they decided that they wanted to suspend me for 10 days or longer if I do not want to comply.
A suspension, an out-of-school suspension? So you've got to learn remotely? Wow.
Yes, and they threatened to charge me with trespassing if I try to come to school.
Wow, unbelievable. Were you alone? Were you the only kid who didn't want to wear a mask?
Last week I know there were a few other kids. I'm not sure if they had the balls to do it today, though. Or yesterday.
Well, you know that there's punishment. You've been suspended from your school. Scott, I'm learning that you had sent a medical or religious exemption. Was that ignored?
Yeah, this is the fascinating part, because what's amazing is not only is the Stone Bridge High School principal, but I think he's a doctor and he's clergy as well. Because in less than 12 hours time, by the time I provided him with the exemption for medical and religious, he made a quick determination to say, nope, she doesn't qualify, I'm not interested in approving it. So I sent him an email last night asking for the detailed process on exactly what, I asked him if he was a doctor and can he send me his credentials. What is the process for making a determination like this? Do you do this unilaterally all on your own? Very, very unacceptable. What's going on in the school system is tyrannical. And these administrators in the school are carrying out a dirty deed by this moronic superintendent, and nobody's sticking up for the kids.
Well, even Governor Youngkin had sent out that executive action, clearly being challenged by these school districts here. But Angelina, will end on this. What's your plan going forward?
We're playing it by every day because there seems to be always new changes, so we're just going to wait and see what happens and move from there.
So you're out for 10 days, is that right?
Or if I choose to come back, I have to wear a mask. So it's basically whenever I decide to comply, I can return to school.
Okay, and Scott, have you heard from Governor Youngkin? Are you expecting him to speak out on this issue, maybe the Attorney General as well?
So I did hear last night that Governor Youngkin and AG Miyares are getting involved in a Loudoun County lawsuit against the school board to try to amp things up and try to move things along here.
Yeah.
But I have not heard directly from the administration other than providing them with the same letter of suspension that you all received.
Wow, a student suspended for not wearing a face mask. Scott Mineo, Angelina Mineo, thank you very much. We appreciate you sharing your story.